Good morning, good morning. This is the word coming live. The new series called Making Things Happen. We are on a season of Together. And this is day number 10. So happy to be here with you guys again. And and we were talking yesterday about going towards reflection. I know you remember that. The reflecting factor of God's word in your life and mine so that we may always understand God's will for you, God's will for your house, uh, moving from my own will to God's arranged sovereignty about my life and your life. We use about closely to 15 um, keys about reflection. We're going to go today from 16 to 30, and then tomorrow we'll use the last ones uh, to bless your life. There's a lot of great insights there. Let's go back and remember scriptures that we used yesterday. First King 2 and 2. David is telling his son as he is passing from this life to the eternal realm. He said, I go the way of all the earth. Be thou strong. Be thou strong, therefore, and show thyself a man. Stand firm, stand the ground, stand your definition, your design, stand in God's will. First Corinthians 16 and 13 is almost similar thousands of years later. Said, be watchful, stand firm in the faith. Stand firm in the faith. I act like a man. It's a powerful thing. Act like a man, or act like man, be strong. So both David and Paul, they're actually agreeing on the same counsel from the word of God that we all need to be strong and man up. That really means you got to take your place back. You need to be responsive and responsible to your design in God. Let me say that again. It is a call to be a man that is responsive and responsible to the design of God for your life, which is unique. You don't compare to other people, and this is why the reflections that we're sharing with you are important to the fact that it's making you go back to the strength that God is giving you and I. So it is an invitation to be obedient unto death. It says that Christ became obedient unto death. What does that mean? It means he became obedient all the way towards giving his free will, giving his life back to God's definition about himself. Baba, I'm happy to see you here. Just reconnecting back after after a long season. This is an answer uh, request from the Lord who asked me to go ahead and do this again. Let's go Philippians 2. We're just doing a summarize or a review of yesterday so we can proceed today with this section. Jesus himself man up. Philippians 2:5, let this mind be in you, which also was in Christ Jesus, who being the form of God, thought it not robbery to be equal with God, but made himself of no reputation. That means he made himself of a design that needs no approval from men. That's what it means. He made himself of no reputation. He took your place and my place in life concerning the guilt, the guiltness, and the results of sin upon his life. Not paying attention to people's opinion, but being totally submitted responsive and responsible in obedience to the design of God to restore us back to Him, and took upon Himself the form of a servant, and was made in the likeness of men. Being found in the fashion as a man, He humbled Himself, and He became obedient unto death. Yesterday we shared the following yesterday, and wow, so many good friends here. Joshua Perez, God bless you. So good to see you. David Vega, Erica Orioles, Frida. I'm happy for you guys are getting so up with me also. Now take a look at this. Becoming obedient in the life of Christ, who needed not to be obedient because he was always committed to the will of God Himself. He came from the sovereignty realm of God, where only God's will is performed, took the form of a man, and now as a man, he became obedient unto death, death of free will. I will take free will back to the choice of, to the real choice of going back again to God's design and God's sovereignty by giving my life. Sovereignty demands the giving in to that which God established before the foundation of the world concerning you and I. Now, listen, my friend. He said that He became obedient unto death, even the death of the cross. What does it mean, death of the cross? Giving your life. Not that something takes the life from you. No, no, no. You give in your life towards God because you're responding to God's design. There's two things here. The first one, I will explain, and we'll go to some remarkable reflections that we need also to put together on everyday situation. First, to be obedient unto death is to be one with your life and purpose in God. You become one with your design and with your designer, not with your ideas, but because of God. First Chronicles chapter 28, verses 9, David explained to Solomon what does it mean to be one with your life and purpose in God when he said, "And thou, Solomon, my son, know thou the God of thy father." It is an intentional decision from the heart to seek hard after God, to know God, the God of thy father, he said, and serve him, make a relationship with him with a perfect heart. Don't come here 50%, 75% of giving in. No. When you meet with God, it's got to do with a perfect heart and with a willing mind. Perfect heart, willing mind. Those two areas are necessary for walking together with God. Can two walk together unless they come in agreement? The perfection of the heart and the willingness of your soul, which is where your mind is at, are requested here. For the Lord searcheth all hearts. You cannot act this on. God really knows if we are seeking for Him, giving our lives back to His design, or whether our relationship with God is based on my convenience, on things because I need Him for this or that, then I have a relationship that is convenient and that I'm using for my own sake. He's saying, for the Lord searches all heart, and he understandeth all the imaginations of the thoughts. Where your thoughts are going, where your desire are going, when your opinions are going, when your relationships are going. He understandeth all the imaginations of the thoughts. And then he says, if thou seek him, he will be found of thee. But if thou forsake him, he will cast thee off forever. David is playing no games with his son. He's saying there's three aspects here for you to man up. Number one, you must know God. Above all things, seek wisdom, seek understanding. You need a perfect heart. You need to be intentional. You need to reconnect back with the Lord Almighty. I just want to send my greetings to a great friend, Ruben Guevara. I know he's there. We bless you and we love you. To have a perfect heart, to know God, to have a perfect heart, and then he says, you need to have a willing mind. This is why they asked Jesus, which is the number one commandment in scriptures, which is written, given by Moses. And Jesus said, the first commandment of all is to love God with all your mind. He said, with all your heart, with all your soul. Then he also said, with all your strength and with all your mind. Those four aspects were there. When we speak about relationship, it is so important to understand, to know, to have, and to establish a willing mind. I love to know the Lord. I have a perfect heart towards him. And beyond all, I have a willing mind. I will fulfill the design of God with my life as a man, as a father, as a spouse, as a neighbor, as a entrepreneur, as a person that deals on daily basis, not just in the marketplace, but to bless other people's life as well. So let me share with you some of the necessary things for us. And let me see if I can put this a little bit bigger. Here we go. Okay. Let's see. And I want you to listen to the reflections. Here we go.
Only ask for advice from people who have been where you want to go. If the person giving you advice has never achieved the thing you want to do, then their strategy is going to be flawed. It doesn't matter how many books they've read. It doesn't matter how many things they think other people have done. It doesn't matter how many stories that they share about things they heard from somebody else. If they themselves have not done it, then their feedback is going to be tainted. It's going to be flawed. And honestly, they're going to give you the wrong blueprint to achieve. So always find the people that have been to the place you want to be and ask them for their advice. Number 17, the word no is a complete sentence. You're allowed to just say no. I know that you're worried about hurting people's feelings, but what about your feelings? Have you ever said yes to somebody and you went to a thing and then you're there and you're like, why am I here? Or you get on a call with somebody that you don't know that somebody introduced you 3 months ago and you're like, why am I on this call? You're allowed to just say no. And a no today is a yes to your future. Number 18, don't dim your light to make other people feel comfortable. If you shine in your light and being who you are and be authentically yourself blinds other people because that is too much for them, then I'd rather you be too much and they can go find less. Number 19, have a primary aim for your life. People ask me all the time, why are you so motivated? My response is, why are you not more motivated? I know why I'm here. I know what my life is going to stand for. I know what my purpose is. When we have that primary aim, it becomes the fuel to pull us forward to achieve some incredible things in our lives. Number 20, stop reading books, start studying them. See, there's a difference. If I'm reading a book just to say I read it, I'm not going to retain it. If I'm reading a book because I'm studying it to not only apply to my life, to then teach other people, that consumption, that level of comprehension is going to change and shift my beliefs, my actions, and the way I show up for other people. That's what it means to study a book. Number 21, always assume positive intent. You're driving, somebody cuts you off. You can use that moment to get road rage and get pissed off and start flipping them the bird and screaming at them, and then take the whole morning processing how that person did you wrong. Or you can assume positive intent that maybe they're in a rush because somebody they love is in the hospital. Either one is as likely to be true. The second one enables you to not emotionally over-respond, keeping you focused on your dreams. Number 22, put your own mask on first before helping others. When the plane's going down, they tell you, put the mask on so that you have the capacity to help people around you. Most of you guys get distracted by other people's dramas, other issues, and it takes you off of your pursuit to becoming better. The truth is you can't help those other people until you get the resources. So if you keep getting distracted and you don't get those resources, by the time they really need your help, you're not going to be ready for it. Number 23, look for problems, don't avoid them. I can tell you that the quality of your life, the size of your life is correlated to the size of problems you have in your life. So instead of being worried about having big problems, actually go find bigger problems to solve. Number 24, your new life will cost you your old one. If you want to move forward, it's going to require you to change the way you've been, which will mean that how you've been living will not work for the future, because if it did, you'd already have the things you want. So if you're not willing to reassess, let go, cut things out of your life, then you'll always be held back from your past from creating a brighter future. Number 25, confidence comes from keeping the commitments you make to yourself in private. Most of you want more confidence, but the truth is you erode that confidence every time you make a commitment that nobody else knows about and you don't follow through. You don't get up at 5 a.m. when you said you would. You don't go to the gym when you said you would. You don't eat clean when you said you would. And every time you do that, you chip away at your confidence to the point where you start having self-doubt, anxiety, imposter syndrome. Number 26, dedicate a decade, not a day. Some people go to the gym once and they can't shut up about it. They're like, oh my God, I got an arm pump. That was so great. I'm not impressed with anybody that does something for a day, a week, a month, even for a year. When you're willing to dedicate a decade of your time, energy, focus, and resources to achieving something, trust me, the world will collude in your favor to be great. Number 27, treat others the way you want to be treated. If you want more love in your life, then give more love. If you want higher quality relationships, then be a better friend. The more you show up with respect, with motivation, with positivity, with non-judgment, the rest of the world will treat you the exact same way. Number 28, tell people about them. The most powerful thing you have is the acknowledgement of somebody doing something great in your life. You never know when that word, that sentence, that moment might be the thing that actually could have saved somebody's life. And I know that sounds dramatic, but I've seen it happen so many times. You have no idea what people are going through around you, and that one compliment at the right time for the right person might be the thing they needed to stop a downward spiral. Number 29, if you keep running into bad people, you may be the problem. I was training with my buddy the other day, and he's a bit of a complainer. I was like, hey man, do you realize that you complain a lot? And he's like, oh, I've never really noticed that. And I was like, yeah, and I bet your friends complain a lot because misery loves company. So if a lot of drama is in your life, you might be the person creating the drama. It's nobody else's fault. Like, go look in a mirror. Number 30, avoid drama and gossip at all costs. If you want to be a high-level person, don't spend time in drama and gossip. They're allergic to it. As soon as they hear it, they run away from it. Why? Because they're spending all their time in a place of opportunity and creation in the future. And in that space, there's no place for that drama and that gossiping.
There is no place for that gossip. 15 reflecting ideas necessary, and probably I just want you to probably go back and rehearse what you just heard. This is why making 20 minutes, 30 minutes top of this making things happen season is to give you an opportunity. Let me go back again to this streaming broadcast. Let me read again. He says, don't read a book, study the book. Study, learn, apply, get the principles from there. Make those principles, necessary to your life. Treat people like you wanted to be treated. Don't gossip. Don't go around complaining all the time. When you start something, don't do it for a day a week, a month, a year. Dedicate a decade, meaning commitment, striving, decision making, intentionality. It means like we just shared here. You want to be, you want to walk with the one that makes things happen. Then know God, have a perfect heart towards His life, and the design that God has placed on yours. Have a willing mind. We all need to have a willing mind to pray, a willing mind to respond to God, but a willing mind to respond in my house to all the other responsibilities about who am I and what I'm here for. This is why this is so important. Tomorrow we'll spend 10 more things, 10 more to finish this 40 reflections that we're going from yesterday, today, and tomorrow, for you to understand there is a call of God to man up, take back your place, and be obedient to your design, giving your life. That's what is that's what is going to take, and that is what is going to produce. Until tomorrow, I'll see you then. I declare peace be with you in everything you are, in everything you have, and in everything you do. Love you guys. See you tomorrow then. Be blessed.